I guess it is 6 o'clock.
It is 6 o'clock.
It is. With Sarah,
It is time.
Yeah.
She texted me that she would make it to. I'm not sure that she
maybe she forgot where we are. I call this meeting of the Perry Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members are present. This meeting has been duly called. Notice this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Would you all pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we're so very, very grateful for the opportunities you've given us. We thank you for the opportunity to serve this district. Be with us as we're meeting this evening, that all the decisions we make be within your will for us and for the district. So remember at all times that our reason for being here is for the education of our community's children. In thy heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We'll see, this is much to the joy of everyone. We'll see how long my voice lasts this evening. Do we have anyone for open forum?
No, sir.
That was easy. Reports time. Mr. Brown.
All right, my report's probably going to take a little bit longer than normal. There's a couple of things that I want to do. We have a nice long list of student accomplishments that I want to walk through with you guys. I also want to take a few moments and, we recently were going through board elections. We had a couple of forums. Some topics and questions have come up during those forums that I would just like to take a second and address with you guys and answer some of those questions here in just a second. First, let's start with our student accomplishments. I think this is significant. Lindsay Valenzuela was awarded the Thomas Scholarship through Texas Tech. That provides her 4 years of free tuition, housing, meals, fees, books, and other educational expenses. Anybody that has helped one of their kids get through college knows that's an amazing scholarship. It also gives her the opportunity to study abroad. The Thomas Scholarship recognizes rural and first-generation students who have excelled in their academic achievements and leadership in high school. So that is Lindsay Valenzuela, and we want to say a very special congratulations to her for earning that scholarship and also for representing Perryton ISD. We'll be representing Perryton ISD at Texas Tech University. Guns up. Okay, Winter Guard competed in Sweetwater competed in Sweetwater and placed first in their classification. Britt Blackshear qualified for regionals in golf and finished 10th. We're very proud of Britt. Dante Gonzalez at PHS built a PC, a computer from scratch. That computer will be used in the PHS classroom for robotics, aviation, and 3D printing. Here's some area qualifiers in track. Jacob Erison in the 3200 and the 1600. Sabrina Nyman in pole vault. Alexa Valenzuela in the 100-meter dash. And Alex Venegas in the 400-meter. Regional qualifiers were Jacob Erickson in the 3200 and 1600. He beat the school record in 3200, running a 9-minute 44.83 seconds. And that was his area result. Alexa Valenzuela also was regional qualifier in the 100-meter dash. And regional results, Jacob Erickson placed 5th in the 1600-meter and 4th in the 3200-meter. He also claimed a spot in the New Balance National 1600-meter qualifier, and Alexa Valenzuela placed 11th in the 100-meter dash.
As a track guy, can I say something?
Yes, please.
About Jacob? He's a freshman, for one. The 2-mile record that he beat, it's really impressive to beat a school record as a freshman. He's run 4:31 in the mile, which is 5 seconds off of our school record in the mile. That one will be a little more difficult, but for a freshman to be running the times that he's running, it's, in my career, the best freshman that I've seen in this area. Really, really impressive.
I would echo that. Yeah, I watched him run. I think it was the mile relay when we had the track meet here. And it was impressive that as freshman that he was running those times, but also I watched him run his race. He was very disciplined in how he approached the race and ended up winning it. So I was very pleased.
Still got a lot to learn, but
he's
bright
really
future.
Good. Bright
He's
future
really good
for our kids. So congratulations to them. And also, it impresses me people who can run that long. It also impresses me people who can run that fast, which is Alexa Valenzuela. I read her name several times in the 100-meter dash. So 2 kids to be proud of in our track team. National powerlifting competition, 3rd place finish for the girls as a team and 5th place for the boys and 3rd as combined teams. Here's some individual highlights. Crystal Anaya was a national champion. Caden Juarez was a national champion. Javier Martinez was the national champion, the 2nd highest total lifted in the whole meet, regardless of weight class. Angel Flores was a national runner-up. Jimena Mandojano was a national runner-up. Elena Luego Castellanos was 3rd place. Natalie Estrada was 5th place, and Sherilyn Vargas was 6th place. BHS Choir, concert and sight reading. Our men's choir got a 2 rating in concert and a 4 rating on sight reading. Our women's choir was rated 2 in concert and 3 in sight reading, and mixed choir got a 2 rating in concert and a 3 on sight reading. In our junior high choir, our 6th grade choir competed in Dumas and received a sweepstakes, receiving a 1 rating from all judges in concert and sight reading. Hold on to that explanation of what sweepstakes is, because you'll need that in a minute. PHS Welding at the Texas High School Welding Series Regional Certification Event in Abilene. They're waiting on individual x-ray results, but 8 students passed their visual inspections on level 2 and level 3 tests. Our welding students continue to amaze us and continue to excel. Tribute to our teachers and to that program. FCCLA state results, BHS chapter recognized as a gold star chapter. Julia Alfaro earned a Power of 1 completer. Aiko Valdez Pacheco and Alexa Rosales finished 2nd. Addison Brown and Marisol Damas are state champions and will advance to nationals in Orlando this summer. Sarah Flores and Giselle Becerril received gold medals in Creed, Mission, and Purpose, and Destiny Vasquez and Mia Gonzalez earned silver medals in Step 1. And last, but definitely not least, our PHS band in their concert and sight reading contest this past about 3 weeks ago received a 1 in sight reading and 1 in concert called the Sweepstakes. This is the first time in 19 years that the band has received sweepstakes. I'd just like to highlight them especially because that is quite an accomplishment. The judges are a former music teacher. I'll sit on my soapbox for a second. The judges are very, very picky in concert. And when you get into sight reading, they hand you a piece of music you've never seen before and expect you to play it. And they're a little more lenient on the details, but they expect you to play it well. And to get a group of kids, 50 or so, 40 or 50 kids, all playing a piece of music that they've never played before, and for them to create music out of that and get a first division, it's impressive. So I'd just like to say special congratulations to our band members for their accomplishments. Hard work paying off. Okay, a couple of things that I'd like to highlight. At our recent board forum, there's a few questions that came up from the community, and I just wanted to take a moment and give you guys some information from some of the questions that came up. This is just a chance for me to be able to explain some of the answers and explain or give some information based on some of those questions. The first is that the Ludi Pena Martin Accelerated Learning Center. We've been talking for the past 3 to 4 months about the possibility of Ludi Pena moving from the building there in north of town to someplace else in the district. And that is something right now that we are planning to do next year. The Ludi Pena Martin program as a campus used to serve somewhere between 30 and 50 kids at a time. Now over the years, the need for that has reduced as far as need in numbers. The need for the program has not, and we have to absolutely keep the program. We have to keep an alternative path for students to be able to earn their diploma, especially if they're not fitting in to the normal path for most kids. So the program is an absolute necessity for us. But location, right now we're keeping a building open for a relatively small number of kids. So next year we're planning on moving that over to the high school. Eventually, it's going to take a transition time over the next 2 years But eventually, we're hoping to make the little, what's called the IT building. It's where woodshop is right now. It's a building apart from the high school. It's a separate building. It's in the back. Eventually we're hoping to move Ludi Pena into that building, so that becomes the Ludi Pena program. It gives them separate space from the high school. They'll have their own parking area, their own entrance. It keeps that separation, that it is its own program, but it also consolidates resources, it consolidates space, it consolidates keeping buildings open. It just makes it more efficient. But it does keep the program operational, and it does provide that different path for our students who need that path in order to get their diploma. Ludi Pena has been very successful in kids graduating high school and getting their diploma. Many kids who graduated from Ludi might not have graduated at all if they had to go through what is the regular high school program. So that absolutely that must stay a part of our district. But we've lost 200 students in 2 years. We're having to look at ways that we can reduce costs, we can consolidate, we can make things more efficient. That's not the only reason we're looking at moving Ludi, but it is part of the reason that we're looking at it. So that's the plan right now, and if anybody has any questions, including community, any community wants to have questions or ask questions about that, I encourage them to come and talk to me and ask me those questions. We want to make sure that we're doing what's right by our kids. All right, so included in that, there's some question about where is the DAP room going to be. Right now, that probably will stay with Ludi. It will come over from the building north of the building over to the high school. As I said earlier, that building will be once we get them into the IT building, it will be a separate place. Kids will have their own separate entrance that is apart from the high school, so there will still be that separation. When we looked into it, I always thought that the DAP room had to be off campus, but that's not a regulation. It just says that the DAP program, DAP room has to be separate from, can't mix with just the regular kids going to school that day. So it just has to be separate, and those kids have to be kept separate while they're in the DAP placement. So right now the plan is that that's going to stay. Now that could change as we work through this, but that's the plan right now. I'd also there was also some questions about our woodshop program. Obviously, if we're going to be using what is the IT building right now, or where woodshop is, then we're probably going to, woodshop's going to have to change. At this point, we're looking at doing away with our woodshop program, or at least putting it on hold for a few years. It has become well, let's start this way. The emphasis on CTE and career and tech programs is very strong in our accountability system. And in order for us to get credit for a program like that, that program has to lead to a certification that a student can get a good job out of high school with. The woodshop program as it is now doesn't lead to one of those certifications. Certifications in woodworking come in more the building trades and the construction side. And so, which is not something we're doing right now. So that's part of why we're looking at removing or taking away the woodshop program right now. It also has become one of our smallest programs. In our 580 some odd kids at the high school, only 26 of those kids requested woodshop next year, and we were being asked to limit that to just 16. So it's a very small program, and it becomes something that really is very expensive to run when such a few amount of kids are taking advantage of that. So the woodshop program has been slated for at least putting it on hold for a few years. Now, what are we going to do with the equipment? Because there's lots of good equipment in there. We're going to hold on to it for a while. We're going to store it because in the next couple of years, who knows what the state's going to do as far as certifications. They may bring it back. We may all of a sudden have a large need for it. We may have a lot of kids who want to pursue that, and they may add certifications. And so we don't want to let that go completely yet. So we're putting it on hold for at least a few years until we see if there's going to be a need for it to come back. But that's part of the plans there. The last thing I would like to say is there was some talk about discipline. There's always questions about discipline, and that's okay. But there's I think, and I haven't been here very long. I think every school every school will have some discipline problems. I think what I've heard in the past is that Perryton has had a reputation, earned or not, there's been a reputation of Perryton being a rougher place. That there's been some, the drug problems, rough behavior with our kids. I have to tell you, that's coming on, I'm almost completing my second year. I have not found that to be the case. Our kids are really, really top-notch kids. And we have some data now to back that up. When I looked, we recently ran some data and we looked at the same date. This was the same date from this year, and we looked at that same date in the 2 years previous. And at the high school and the junior high, both places, from the first year, we looked at 3 years. From the first year to the second year, discipline went up. And I would credit that, this would be this past year. Discipline went up, and I would credit that because our administrators raised the bar and raised the expectations on our kids in their behavior in
Went
class.
up in a good way.
Up in a good way. They raised their expectations for good behavior. And so our discipline went up. In both their junior high and our high school, the discipline numbers have fallen dramatically. So in our high school, almost 100 discipline incidents lower this year than last year. Our kids have responded, and things are going very well discipline-wise at both our secondary schools. And I would encourage anyone from our community to come up and walk the halls. I can tell you that probably in any high school or junior high school that you go to, the most chaotic time is class changes. And I can tell you from having walked some halls during some class changes, the class changes at Perryton are peaceful, they're calm, the kids walk, they handle their business, and they get to class. I can tell you I've been in some schools that when the class change went on, I kind of wanted to hide in a corner somewhere because of the chaos and the disruption that caused during the day. That is not the case. Our kids are outstanding, and our administrators are doing a very good job of carrying through with this one. Just to further talk a little bit about it, I did an analyzation based on race and ethnicity to see if we were out of balance. Our district is about 75% Hispanic and about 25% Anglo. When I looked at our discipline numbers, I found that 75% of our discipline incidents were with Hispanic students and 25% were Anglo students, matched almost exactly our demographics, which is what you want to see when it comes to analyzing data. So I am just wanted to give an answer and some information and some statistics. There's always going to be a concern, and every parent and all the parents in our community are always going to be concerned about their kids going to school, want to make sure they're safe, want to make sure the environment is good for them to learn in. I can say in Perryton ISD it is. And we have a great team that's keeping it that way. So I would like to credit the leadership of this board. I'd like to credit our administrators and their leadership in their campuses for creating a great place, a great environment for our kids to learn in.
Greg, I have one question.
Yes.
It's regarding discipline. It's also regarding what you're doing with Lodi Martin.
Yes.
There's some legislation moving through that looks like it's got some legs to it. That's
Yes.
going to change, going to open the door on the way we handle some disciplinary issues.
Yes.
Is that weighed into your consideration of Lodi Martin and DAP in the building situation?
It is a part of it. That legislation that's moving through right now, I'm fully in support. And anybody who wants to look it up, it's House Bill 6. And it gives our teachers and our administrators a few more tools that they haven't had to keep a classroom environment, to keep it a place where learning can occur. And if there are a few students or one student who is disrupting that environment, it gives them a tool of maybe making a virtual option for that student so that that student doesn't disrupt the learning for the rest of the kids. We are very, and I would say our administrators and myself, you guys I know feel like this, that if one student is disrupting the learning environment for the other 21, we need to think about the rights of the 21 and deal with the one. And this legislation really follows along with that thinking, and I'm very much hoping that it passes.
So you're thinking about solutions to where, because it was K through 12 was all the way up, right?
Yes.
So you will need room and room on campuses too, so.
Yes. So we could use some space at Moody Martin for some of the things in that bill. Is that what you're thinking?
I'm hoping everybody gets the message and it doesn't require a great move of anything. So.
Yes. Okay, moving along. I do need to report some resignations. We're at the time of the year where people resign, move, people get transfers, husband gets transferred, wives get new positions, and people have to move. So I do need to update you guys on some resignations for us. Casey Schwab, who was our GT teacher throughout the district, has resigned. Kaylee Palmer was math and robotics at the junior high. Kaylee's going to become a vet. She's headed to vet school. So we wanted to cheer her on as she moves on. Joanna Perez, or JoJo Perez, was a health teacher and coach at the junior high. Erica Hernandez was PHS business teacher. Diana Landeros was Ludi Pena science. Caitlin Dodson, teacher at Williams, is leaving us, going to Spearman. Courtney Jenkins, PHS assistant principal, has resigned. And let me highlight Courtney for a second. She's moving on to become a principal of the 6th through 12th grade campus at White Deer. Courtney has done some amazing things for our kids and is an amazing educator and person herself. She is going to be dearly missed, but we do cheer her on that she is stepping into a new leadership role and are going to enjoy watching her succeed in the future. Sarah Hodo, our cafeteria director's assistant. Sharon Brown, our warehouse manager, for something like 19 years, 17 years, something along these lines, has done a great job keeping Alan and others like him running and organized, and we're going to miss her greatly. But she's going to be retiring. And last, definitely not least, somebody we have leaned on often for many things, everything from getting a parent square out to keeping up with grants, to doing door checks, to hooking up the camera tonight so that we can broadcast on Facebook Live. Daisy Smith is leaving us, taking a position at Pantex, and we are extremely sad about, for us, we'll be weeping as she takes a different position, but we are cheering her along as she begins a new adventure. So Daisy, thank you for all your good work, and we're going to miss you greatly. Last but not least, I do need to report the training hours for the board members. We're required to do this by law in the meeting that precedes an election day, and that's this meeting. I will not be doing it like I did last year, where I was highlighting it down to the detail. If anybody, it's a public report if anybody wants to know it, but what I'm going to do today is just highlight who has completed their training, who has not completed their full training, and who has exceeded their training hours. I do want to highlight that for every one of us, there are some trainings that are required. And I believe that nearly all of us have completed the required training. If you see if I'm announcing incomplete training, it's usually because there's a few hours of extra training that we have to do on top of the required training. And there's some of our members need to just complete some of those extra hours. All in all, we're in good shape as far as the training. So the board members who still need to complete some of their training hours are Jeff Schallenbarger, Bryce Hale, Jed Simons, Noon Vela, and Richard VA.
Not possible. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Got them off.
I'm not taking any bets on Richard completing his training.
You've got time, my friend.
I believe in
Let's see, what is it, this Saturday?
I intended to.
You can do it.
Wes Beal, our board president, has completed his training, and Sarah Tregellis, one of our board members here, has not just completed, but she has exceeded her training hours, completing all the required trainings plus 14.5 hours of additional training on top of that, only needing 5. So she is.
I told you I was a nerd.
She has exceeded the standard, so. And it's a long superintendent's report, Mr. President, but I will gratefully turn it back to you.
Cool, thank you very much. Go back to paper for campus reports because I can't run my iPad fast enough to keep up. Lydia Martin. Can I see Mr. Moore? I didn't think I saw him up there.
She's here.
What's that?
Desiree was here.
Ludi Martin.
That's-
Oh, Ludi, I'm sorry. Yeah. Short timing.
He's already clocked out.
That's little, high school.
I don't have anything new to add to my report. We're just keeping busy, getting ready for the end of the year. Any questions?
Lots of pages. And
I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm saying that's great.
That's cool.
For cool things, we like them in paper. Any questions? Thank you very much. Ms. Wheeler, junior high.
Mine was pretty bare this month because of testing season. We've just been really nose to the grindstone, getting the kids ready with the school program and Winston and all of those things. So it's just been all academics for us except for finishing up track season. I do want to say a big thank you to our parents though. Our attendance is on the uptick, which is always good to see. So thank you to our junior high parents for making sure your kids are getting to school and staying at school and arranging appointments around things so that we can make sure that they're not missing instruction. And thank you again to the board for the lights in the auditorium. They really do make a great difference. Any questions?
Computers are all running good,
Yes.
testing wise?
Oh, absolutely. Internet's been
Internet's good.
so much better,
Great.
so much better. So it was worth the month at the beginning of the year that we but it's been great.
Good.
So, cool. So,
Awesome.
anything else?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Let's go around.
Get back here. We are about to complete STAR test on Wednesday. And so our kids have been working really hard in all grades, finishing up to master everything they need to by the end of the year. I do want to give a big shout out to Lindsay Fletcher and Tanya Benedict in the library. We did have some computer Chromebook issues. Not on testing day because we figured it out on benchmark day. And so we've had to do some switching at 1st and 3rd grade, but we have a solution thanks to Brittany and Ivan moving forward. And so Lindsay Fletcher and Tanya had to really work hard to make sure the 1st grade computers were ready for the 3rd graders to use on STAR testing day and get them updated and ready to go. And it was absolutely no technology issues on reading day for the STAR, which was, fantastic.
Amazing.
So, yes.
Dating 100+ computers.
Yes, and signing them out because, our elementary kids aren't as tech savvy as, the older kids. But they worked really hard and we couldn't have made that switch without them. So in the 1st grade, teachers have been without Chromebooks here and there because of that. And they've been so gracious because they knew it was in the best interest of the kids. So, do y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, I know I'm going out of order.
Oh.
Let's go to Kinder.
I think I'm down there.
You get the last word.
Slip out $20.
Probably did, so wrong. I have enjoyed my time here. Thank you for letting me come in and fill in. Really, this may be my last board meeting. I'm not for sure how that works, but it might be.
It might be.
But we've had some field trips, and you can look at some of the photos there. We had a first responders day, and it was the first time they had that. We had Apollo there, we had the fire trucks there, we had the police department, the sheriff's office, there were several people there. And the kids got to crawl into the Apollo, they got to shoot, shoot the water and everything, and had a fabulous day. Everybody brought something for the kids, so the kids got to take treats with them, stickers, hats, and all that from these departments. And so that was a fantastic day. So we're just finishing out with continuing our learning and our field trips and just having fun. So I have Angela Hollowell with me, and she will be the new principal at the pre-K or the K campus. So any questions?
So you're up next time, Angela.
She wanted to come see what I was doing. So thank you.
See, it's painless.
Ranger Retta. Saw Desiree earlier. Is she hiding? There she is. So everybody comes in and sits on, I've got really comfy chairs over there. Everybody's on the, you can stay for the rest of the day.
I was trying to give you a different job a little bit earlier.
I don't know that I'm ready for another role. I want to highlight that we are in the middle of our Texas Rising Star Assessment for the literature presentation. We are thankful to have that every day. We're like, oh, they didn't come today. Oh man, they didn't come today. So we're excited for them to come. The team just worked really, really hard, and it'll be our second designation, which is wonderful. I think we're the only district to have 2 buildings with designations. So that'll be awesome for us. I'm really excited for that. And then I wanted to also announce that today we received notification that our Texas Rising Star apprentice received the Teach Fellowship Award. So she will be fully funded for her CDA assessment exam and her portfolio. So, and then if she continues her commitment with us for at least 6 months, she'll be eligible for another commitment stipend. So we're really excited that we've been a part of this program. It started 2 years ago, and just working through that program has been really wonderful for our staff and our kids, what they gain from that. Yes.
Desiree, can you just for everybody, maybe some watching online, or anybody who might have any questions, just give like a couple of sentences of what the Texas Rising Star is and what that means to you guys?
Yes, so Texas Rising Star is an accreditation program. It was before last year something that you could pursue on your own if you wanted to, but because we're a subsidy program, Texas put out legislation last year for child care programs and early childhood programs and made it a requirement that we have to be certified. The lowest level that you can get is a 2-star designation. We received our 4-star syringe round of last year, which is the highest level that you can receive, and that's what we're pursuing.
Way to go, Desiree and staff.
Troopers. So
Yeah.
it helps us get our maximum funding and our subsidies. So we are at the top of the bracket. They basically pay us on our subsidies the highest amount that we can receive for that. And it helps with scholarships and so for Texas School Ready, which is what Alex has completed over the last 2 years, it helps us to continue our partnerships with them, and it helps to bring funds in to help our teachers go to school, get their credentials, become certified. So we're not, it's just like when we have our teachers go through the school district and they're going through their teach programs, we're doing the same thing at the early childhood level.
Thank you.
Super.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I thought I saw him earlier. Is Mr. Williams here?
Not
Williams, for his last report.
Oh, I'm gonna be gone. Been looking forward to this. I really was just gonna say it's all good at Williams, but I
But
just
it's
want.
greater at Kinder.
You were waiting to throw that in.
This is her last one too. I might just come to more. But I just wanted to say, I cannot, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time. And they're great people. In the 8 years I've spent here, I cannot believe I'm getting choked up. But the 8 years I've spent here I was done with public education, and it has been wonderful. I can't thank the Williams family, what they've accomplished in 8 years and kept it there. I mean, it's incredible what they do, and I really think the next person that's coming in, I think Lacey will just continue right down that road. But thank you, Farrington. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've done wonderful things, and I really thought I was done in January, but as you all know, I'm not. But the reason I did that, my wife says the way I live my life, she's going to outlive me a long time. And so I need that extra retirement in Oklahoma to keep her going down.
She needs the extra.
She needs the extra retirement. But I have thoroughly enjoyed it at Williams, and I will guarantee you there is going to be no education happening past Wednesday. That last test day, it's going to be in containment mode, and we're going to have parties, and we're going to do fun things, and we're going to have a great time. And as you can tell, we have all kinds of things planned. And so I can just tell you now, it is all great at Williams, and it will continue to be great. And yes, better than pre-K and kindergarten. But thank you all. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Director's reports. Mr. Kim?
I don't really have anything to add unless y'all have some questions.
Still having a tough time being able to find people. It sounds like.
I actually had one of the two that I put in the board report actually called back Friday, last Thursday. And he actually is supposed to start, I believe, the 7th.
Great. Good deal.
For our grounds tech / spray position. He's going to
Okay.
study up and try to get his license and maybe take over the spray.
I just wanted to see that.
Okay.
Finger crossed. Transportation, Mr. Felix.
I don't have anything to add. If y'all have any questions. What were the issues on the new bus? So coming home, hit through a warning code. It's one of the relays, the DEF system, of course, DEF relay. I've been in communication getting that replaced with their mechanic service guy and also their director person working on that. There's just a couple weird things about it, like one of the safety switches on a door doesn't work all the time, needs to be adjusted, things like that. So we're working on either having them come here, getting it back to Lubbock, letting them keep it for a few days. I'm waiting to hear what they tell us we have to do on that one. We put, probably 2,000 miles on it since we've had it already. So I took it on a trip to Dallas, but that's where I was able to see some of the issues that we were having as well. But yeah, coming home the first night through that code, I was like, oh no. Did it run okay after the code? Oh, yeah. Okay, it didn't go into limit. No, it's never done that at all. No, it's never shut out.
Good.
No, it's been okay, it runs. Each time we send them information, they're just working on either getting the part to us. It's just a simple plug-in thing is what I understand. But if they're gonna do that or if we're gonna do that, wait to find. But it's been on some trips. Like I said, it's put probably close to 2,000 miles on it since we've had it.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Food service, Ms. Walker.
I don't have anything to add.
Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Action. Ivan, anything?
don't have anything here today.
Kudos for smooth
Yes,
testing.
yes. I would just say I've put a lot of work into getting a solid 5G network for our, as you guys know, for our schools. And that's been a huge bonus for our schools.
You said a couple of months ago that you talked about I'm gonna get terminology all wrong, the loop around bridge that go both ways with Region 16, that if there was a problem. When they had the problem, Perryton was the only school that was still up in the North Panhandle? Did I hear that right? So,
Yeah.
yay, Ivan. So. Anything else? Thank you, sir. Communications and safety. Stacy, Brittany?
The only thing I have to say is I'm very grateful for my time here, for welcoming me with open arms, and I was able to learn and grow and meet and work with some very fantastic people. So I'm sad to go, but I think it's my time. So I appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stacy.
Ms. Hughley?
So there's nothing like walking into an SSA board meeting and having them all stare at you and your lead superintendent because you still have internet. But at our last board meeting, Perryton was the only district in the SSA who had internet. So kudos to Ivan. Really appreciated that. I really don't have anything to add to my report. Any questions for me?
Any questions? I love it when I see the words "grow your own" in any report. You know, but the more we can take our students and our people and be able to grow their peers.
We are growing 2 speech paths. It'll be a couple of years before they're ready, but we're growing.
The art facilitators, will they have to have any kind of certification or can just anybody?
They're certified teachers.
Teachers,
They
okay.
have to be certified teachers, but they don't have to have that master's degree or that master's certification.
Special ed certification,
So
okay.
they don't cost me as much.
And for what they're doing, that makes sense, for what?
Yeah, and they also free up the diacs to do more
Yes.
evaluation,
Yeah.
because Jody told me she wasn't gonna quit
Yeah.
on sending them to me, so I've gotta.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Athletics Department, Coach Hernandez.
How are y'all?
Lovely.
Questions? The only thing I don't know if I talked about, should highlight is, we had a spring pep rally. We've had 3 kids sign, Sadai in cross country, Yvonne Garcia in, basketball, and, Britt Blackshear in golf. So those are 3 kids that have signed to go to the next level, and we'll see if we get a few more here as we close out the year. So I don't think those have been in the reports. Athletic banquet is Monday in the Rangerette. So if you're wanting to go, and I need to get you in there, you need to talk to me like ASAP, so I can tell you how to get tickets for that. That's Monday, and then I think everything else I've been sharing pretty much with everybody. So, is there any questions I needed to field on fundraising?
And for my getting tickets, I click, downloaded the app.
Yeah, usually,
Yeah,
so,
it's-
and I put that out several
It's on
times. On the hometown ticketing deal, I know it's a transition. I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna be frustrated. But if we've made it really easy. You click on the link and it's gonna pop up right there and you just pay for your ticket. But if people will start to download that app, hometown ticketing app, it's gonna make it really easy as we progress. So when we create these season passes and we create these family passes, and you see a transaction fee, that's only once a year if we'll buy those passes. I think it's gonna be a really, really good thing for our district. Once we get a hold of what we're doing and figure all this out, and we're gonna have our business office open to answer questions for our community as we kind of move through this. So, we've left it open at the banquet where if they have to pay with cash, we're gonna allow it, or check, but I mean, we're really trying to work towards this deal. So, and we think it's a really easy program, honestly. We've spent like the last 6 months researching, communicating back and forth with this program and training and all this stuff. So we're excited. We're excited on what we're putting out there for our people. So that, and then I posted as well. So we started an athletic Facebook page. I don't know if you guys saw that. Join that if you can. I'm trying to make sure that everything is posted. All our kids are highlighted on there. I would like that to at some point be a one-stop shop for all of athletics, with game times and results and all that, and just try to clean up a little bit of what we have out there. And so I started that. I posted about, free physicals, which is really important to our kids. So if you have somebody in the 7th, 9th, 11th grade incoming, those grades, they need to be at that free physical night on May the 15th in the Rangerette, and then anybody coming off a serious injury. So I'm keeping all that stuff posted. So if people just follow along with us, we try to over communicate sometimes, which is what's needed. So,
And being able to have it all
yeah,
funneled
in one spot. It's,
You don't have multiple.
everything isn't completely removed, the other stuff that we have going on, but I'm trying to work to where it's there. And when we get it all kind of posted on that one deal. So once everybody follows that, they'll get everything that they need from us. So,
Cool.
yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's already going. It's going. It started. It's out there. So, the questions y'all, do I need to answer for you at all? Yeah, we had today was the last real UIL event left, and that was tennis. And we had a girl that advanced to the quarterfinals, but she ran into Canyon's 1 seed and we got beat. So, that was it. So they'll have JV. I take that back. JV. District tennis is on Thursday, and then that'll close out our sports calendar for the year, and then we fire right back up in the summer. So hot and heavy, it's coming. So
Never sleep.
no. So
No, yes.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
y'all. Thank y'all.
Curriculum and instruction, Dr. Hale.
Thank you. Just a brief recap of what I've given you in your board report. STAR testing, we're wrapping up this week with our math, so looking forward to be finished with that. The campus testing coordinators have just done an outstanding job of organizing that and planning that, and STAR testing has gone off without a hitch. I hope I haven't just jinxed ourselves since we're not completely through, but sending positive thoughts.
You'll have the last ones this week.
This week, yes. I'm going to jump down to professional development and then go back and do a little bit of explanation on the A through F accountability for 2023. We have been working with planning professional development for 25-26, looking at what are some needs for our district. We're looking to bring in, or we will be bringing in, Lead Forward, which is going to talk about inclusion systems and how to support our special education students there. I would really like to show my appreciation for the SSA and Susie because they're going to pay for that. That was a pretty substantial fee to bring in Lead Forward, and the SSA is going to pay for that. We'll invite the other SSA districts as well to come in and be a part of that. So with that being said, I'm going to go back up to the 23 A through F accountability. So if you'll go back a few years, it's been in a lawsuit. About 121 districts challenged the release of the A through F ratings. And just April 17th, I believe, they were released to the schools. And then the 24th, they were released to the public. So the 15th Court of Appeals said, no, you have to release it. They overturned the lower court's decision. We did send out a parent information, letting parents know that they're coming out. And we also included the ratings for the district overall and each one of the campuses. Now, why it has taken us 19 months to get 2023 accountability ratings? There's been a lot going on. You can't compare the 2022 to the 2023 ratings, even though they're both considered A through F. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. So an analogy I would like to kind of elaborate on was we didn't get the accountability manual for 2023 until October. So when our students took the accountability STAR test in April, May of 23, we didn't even know how the game or the rules were going to be played until the following October. So that's like you play a football game, you win the football game, and UIL comes back and says, after you've already played the game, oh, wait, to only count those touchdowns, you have had to have thrown the ball. Completely changed the rules, and you couldn't do anything about it. That is exactly what the state has done.
So to give everybody proper credit here, who does this trace back to on this mess?
TEA.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to list just some of the.
And hence the lawsuit. What she just explained
Yes.
is why we have the lawsuit.
So I'm going to talk about the numerous changes, not only to the accountability A through F, but also the STAR test itself. So a lot of things happened all at once. For the 2023 accountability manual that was released in October of 23, when our kids had already taken the test in April. So the TA changed how they calculate the A through F rating. They revised the cut points for the different 3 domains in A through F. They significantly increased the CCMR. So to go from a 60% to an 88% to have an A. And remember, CCMR is a 2-year lag. So those kids have been out of our system for 2 years. And then they also updated the overall district methodology of how they figure A through F by using a proportional weighted system where your highest enrollment numbers are at instead of just a flat single campus where everyone's weighted equally. So now our high school, because it is our largest population, is going to carry more weight than our other campuses. So then if you look at the stars, we all call it the 2.0, what all changed in the star, it had to be given online. There were new item types. No more than 75% of the tests could be multiple choice. So this is where these new item types came in. And they also embedded writing in all of the subjects with short and extended construction responses. So that's why I say you can't compare 22 to 23. So you have a document that has the difference in the 22, 23, and on the back you can see if you want to compare those. The state also released what's called, they're calling it a what if 22, but it's really more of a what would have been a 22. So if you would have applied the 23 accountability system to our 22 accountability system, apply those same standards, you can see what each school, each campus would have been. So there.
So in a sense, taking the oranges and putting them in that year and making them more oranges, what would it have looked like?
What would it, yes, thank you. So this helps explain a little bit, trying to make it oranges to oranges. Okay.
Going backwards.
Where will we be in 24 going forward?
24, so if they have not released those accountability results either. First, I want to also stress that we've had this data for 2 years. So when we did get our results, it wasn't an A through F system, but we did have the breakdown. So we started to look at those results and drive instruction, make changes. Same thing with 24. We looked at the results back this summer and this fall. What were our results in 24? What changes do we need to make? If you remember, we had the math curriculum that did not do us any favors.
The Brown math curriculum?
The Brown math curriculum.
That's enough.
That's not, okay.
PA gets credit, you get credit.
Hey, last meeting, bear with them.
Well, can you censure a member from last meeting?
You're allowed to throw
Good question.
No, I mean, should you take accountability?
Yes, but I own that one.
So when we look at the math, we didn't have the results we were hoping, and it did impact some of our campuses. So we take that into account. Also, CCMR isn't where we want it to be, but again, it's 2 years behind. I think.
Neither of y'all were here when this data was here.
Correct.
When this was happening.
Yes, yes, we were. So, are we where we want to be? I don't know. We're never where we want to be. But we're still using that data to push forward and make changes. So with the results from the 24 data, we looked at the math, realizing that we couldn't keep going with that. So can I tell you right offhand of what we're going to be in 24? I can't because I've been digging through all of 23 and refreshing my memory, but I certainly can get back with you of what we're looking at. I think we talked about the beginning of the fall, but that's been a long time. I'm not going to lie.
For a long year.
So you can go through in each one of the campuses, the what if compared to the 23 accountability. So for those that are listening, overall, Perryton was an 81. Rod Elementary was an 88. Williams Intermediate was an 81. Perryton Junior High was an 81. Perryton High School an 83. And Ludi was a 75. And I will say part of the new accountability with 23, it is for the alternative education schools, that is being figured differently. So that was a new system entirely for our alternative education school. I've given you a lot of information. Sorry?
Goalposts on wheels.
Oh, no, goalposts to like basketball goals, and soccer goals.
I will say out of all of this, one thing they're doing is they're trying to get us the accountability manual sooner. So the 25 accountability for this year's STAR test was released in April. So we're getting there. Next year's supposed to be released even sooner. So before we start testing, we at least know what the rules are, hopefully.
26 testing protocols be awesome to have in, say,
Now.
July of 25.
That's what they're working on, yes, and they're expected to get those released.
That's why stability of expectations is a great asset when you're planning business activities, school activities, anything in life. And this has been a mess.
Absolutely.
If you ask them, they have one of the best accountability systems in the nation.
Well,
Yeah,
Doge,
UTA.
maybe Doge will get to them.
Texas.
Questions, complaints?
Greg, I loaded up on you. Do you want to make a statement of where we are with the math, what we're doing? Because are you taking parts of anything forward, or what are you doing?
We really kind of went back to what was successful in the past, and we put it in the hands of our teachers and listened to them, and have seen much better results this year with our math than we did last year. And again, just like I told you guys last year, I dug my heels in on that one, because anytime you're going to make a curriculum change, you're going to have some resistance. It's going to take some more things to get through. But when we did get the final results, and also doing some research on schools throughout the state and how their results when those schools that were using that same curriculum, we made the decision that curriculum just was not going to lead us to the place we needed.
So can I ask my next favorite question? Where did, besides you, who approved it, and the board approved it, right? So who drove that little decision on the math?
Are you talking where the curriculum came from?
Yes.
Okay. That curriculum was promoted by TEA. And is a part, you're going to hear talk about Bluebonnet curriculum right now. That is the foundation of Bluebonnet curriculum is the same math that we were using last year. Eureka and Carnegie is
Again, I'll make the comment again. The stability and expectations here, this idea that we change everything, so that's why I think the changes, and then that's why a lot of the lawsuits came about, was change everything and then you expect them to measure the same standard. Nobody knows what's going on. And it affects everything. And this is coming from the prior identified party, so.
Can I interject something? I'm going to defend it. He gave me the freedom kind of we didn't use it with fidelity. And with the fifth grade teachers, math teachers I have, they knew, and we kind of saw it wasn't going to work. So we just went back and we integrated our old stuff with what that was. And really it was a good measuring stick. I mean, and I'm glad that they gave us the freedom to do that, because we had
At least we're not teaching Ebonics Three.
I even remember what that
So,
was.
yeah, there you go. There was an interesting thing on Houston, because the state took over Houston ISD this couple of years ago here. They've now discovered that discipline in the classrooms and a teacher-focused educational format is going to save the system. So this continual thing we get from the state and the state agencies and the national agencies and the Department of Education about how to educate our kids needs to be localized, and this is just silly, and we keep going through it. It's just amazing to me how much we waste and how much money we spend in the process.
I think Texas needs a Doge.
Yeah, they're gonna get a Doge. Doge got passed.
It did,
Yeah.
What? It's headed to the
Texas Doge got passed.
It needs to go.
I don't know if it's an Oklahoma version of Doge, really, but it should be.
I doubt it.
Anyway, that was.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you very much. CFO's report, Ms. Morales.
Just a very high highlight. Looking at our enrollment right now, it's at 1735. We budgeted at 1750. My best projection at this time is best case scenario, we're short a minimum of 7% on our revenue. That will be okay if we can keep our expenses down.
It looks like they have on the expense form, especially supply, granted, that's such a small part compared to like salaries and things, but they are doing it.
And plus that was at the end of, this is at the end of March, before the end of, April,
7% of total revenue, 7% of state revenues.
total revenue.
Oh, that's. Do you think we'll still be in the black or will it be a little bit red? We have to adjust.
I think we can make the black, but everybody just has to.
Really tight.
Yes.
Okay.
And everybody's aware. I am concerned watching the town that I don't see any driving factors, so attendance go up here for a while. Some that tightening the belting is going to be with us for a little bit.
Other questions?
As for debt profile, what's the debt for the total district for Perryton ISD? Including the bond, yeah.
It's,
And is that with the 40, with the,
without the 15.
without the 15? Okay, thank you.
There's a new issue at some point.
Yeah, with the new issue. Was there an allowance on the original bond? I don't remember, for an interest, what we would make on interest to come into the funds we could spend. Was there an assumption made there? Or should we just left it off?
I don't think we.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Brittany. Okay, the board will now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on the agenda this evening, allowed by Texas Government Code 551.074 personnel, 551.072 real property, and 551.071 attorney consultation. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussion in the closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in open meeting. It is now 7:04.
Did you bring your gold?
Food is in the break room.